Hello viewers, today I'm going to teach you two ways that you can be able to control an electrical panel, control an electrical motor, two ways that you can control it through hard wiring, and also two ways that you can control electrical motor through PLC language. So first of all, we're going to look at the direct online starter with a push button which will return, and then with a latch. And then we're going to do the ladder logic, and then we're going to use set and reset language to program the PLC for a direct online starter. So let's get on with it. So first of all, we're going to start with this is the voltage source. That's the control voltage. You can use 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts, 120 volts, or 230 volts, 240 volts. It could be AC voltage or it could be DC voltage, and this is the neutral, or this could be, you can call this also the common rail. It's also the common rail. So you can use DC or AC. So I'm going to draw a straight line here. So here we have our terminal relay. We'll call it F1, which is a terminal relay. And the contacts are 96 and 97 here, and 96 here, 97 here. And next we'll put a stop button. This is a push button. It's going to be our stop button. We'll call it S1, which is stop. Now we do a start button, another push button, which will be our start. So this is a 3 and 4 contact. The contacts are level 3 and 4 for the start button, which is a normally open contact. So level 3 and 4. This one is leveled 1 and 2 for a normally closed contact of the push button. So these two are push buttons. If we represent them in ladder logic for PLC programming, normally closed will be represented like this. This is normally closed, same as this. So this push button is the same thing as this one in PLC language. And this one, normally open push button, is the same as this in PLC language. Okay, now we put the coil of the relay. So this could be a contactor or a relay. Or relay. So we either of them. And we're going to call it KM1. So what we notice here is that when we push the start button, what happens? The this coil will receive current. When we push this, voltage will flow, current will flow through here, and it will get to the A2, to the A2 of the contact. It's for the A1 of the contact. This is the A1. The A2 is the one where we connect to the neutral. A2 is the one we connect to the neutral. So when we push it, when it's closed, this starts. And once it starts, you can control the motor we have somewhere. Maybe we have motor here, somewhere else. So the motor might be a 3-phase motor, RST, might be a 3-phase motor, and we have a contact somewhere here. We have a contact. So this should be the power diagram. So this should be KM1 as well. KM1. KM1. So once we push this button, current will reach here and the amateur will close, and this switch, this mains contact of the motor will close, and the motor will start to rotate. The motor will begin to rotate. But when you release your hand, when you remove your hand, when you remove your hand from here, it will open again. So what we do is that if you want it to remain running, there are two ways you can do it. You can use a selector as a start button, but then you won't need a stop button. This will become an emergency stop. But if you put a selector is represented like this. So when you see this, when you see it looking like a triangle, like this, in a diagram, you know that this is a selector because it locks up. Once you turn it, it stays locked. That's why it's like this. So it locks up. So when you turn it, it locks up. So that means you don't have to hold it, and the motor will be running. Okay. Another way to do this, which is a very most common way, is to put a latch. Put a latch on it. So we'll keep this one as a push button, not as a selector, because it's common to see it in the industries as a push button. So what we can do here is to use the auxiliary contact of KM1. Use the auxiliary contact of KM1, labeled 13 and 14. We use them to create a latch. So we use them to do this latch here, so that when you push this button, when we push this button, this place will close briefly. So current will get here, will get to the coil, and then it will shift all the contacts, and this one will also close. So once it closes and you release your hand, the flow of current will continue to go like that. So that means we're going to have voltage, because it's still fed by, remember that the voltage of this coil must correspond. The voltage of the coil must correspond with the supply voltage that you have up there. So that's it. This is how you control an electrical motor with a direct online starter. So if we decide to do this in a ladder logic, as for PLC, because you want to use a PLC as well. If you want to use a PLC as well to implement it, because this is for hardwiring, this will be use this one for hardwiring. But for PLC, it's a bit different, but it's also the same. So for PLC, what you could do is we use so as you can get, this is the stop button and this is the start button. Remember, as I said here, normally close, normally open. This one is equivalent to this, so this is stopping. So normally the PLC has about 5 physical outputs, 5 or 6 physical outputs and inputs. So and the input level from I00, this is input 00, and this will be input 01. And then the outputs are labeled as Q. So this could be Q00, which is output 00. So it goes from output 00 to output 05. You know, or you can, and then you can put other models to extend it. A simple model will have about 5 inputs and 5 outputs. So let's say we have a contactor here. We'll call that contactor M here. Just call that contactor M. So when we push that button there, if you're monitoring the PLC, like for example it is wired and you're monitoring the PLC in a company program or in a PLC program, you're monitoring this thing because it's going to have both. So once you go to the machine and you push this start button, if the PLC is in monitor mode, you will see that this place will go green. This place will go green, and it will activate a contactor that will activate a motor. And when you release your hand, it will disable, and the motor will stop. The same thing goes here. If you need to keep the motor running, you need to do a latch, and to do a latch, you need a normally open contact here, which you're going to use to keep the machine running. This is the live rail. This is live rail. So this is live rail. And this is the common rail. So, and this could be this one. What you're going to have to do is that you're going to label this one the same thing as the input. So once you activate this one, all the contacts that are labeled. Once this one is activated, anything that is labeled Q01, Q00 is going to activate. So if you label this one Q00, once that one is activated, what will happen is that this normally open contact will go like this, and now the voltage will travel like this to activate it, to keep it activated. It won't, because by then the push button has activated this, and you release your hand. This is open again, but now it's receiving voltage from there, and so that's what it is. But and this